Hello and welcome to the HGC. It is week 8 and we are gearing up for more matches as we continue to chase that dream of BlizzCon for a majority of our teams. My name is Trixler. Over here we got Caldor, and Caldor's a happy camper. We got our muffins this morning.
Yeah, I was about to lead with that. I got a muffin this morning, so I was very happy. And,
Took 2 weeks in the making, it feels like, for us to get that muffin, but we finally delivered on it.
Muffin came in, so yeah, muffin, coffee was a great start into a Friday.
A muffin for a hunk muffin. Let's go ahead and check out our standings here as we go ahead and check out our teams that are continuing to find those 2 spots. Remember, the top 2 at the end of week 10 will be going to BlizzCon. Our 3rd seed will be fighting against the rest, of course, to get the playoffs played off to figure out who will be going. Right now, Team Liquid and Team Dignitas are in the lead.
There's definitely a lot of things that can still happen here. Dignitas so far looks absolutely unbeatable, and they're expected to make it to BlizzCon directly. Team Liquid in a really good spot to also secure the 2nd spot for themselves. But there's a lot of things happening, especially with Method struggling and losing to Roll20. That doesn't only shake up the top of our standings, but also the bottom, where all of a sudden there's a realistic chance for Roll20 to maybe even make it out of the Crucible spots.
Speaking about Method, this weekend is going to be a big statement for them. They have a double-header weekend. First off against Dignitas here on Friday, and then Sunday we'll be seeing them play against Fnatic. And they're in a spot right now where they're looking weaker than ever. They need to pull through and show that they can compete with some of the best of the best.
And of course, there's also a lot of things happening in North America, especially with Athlon leaving HGC. We're now in a situation where it's not even said that Heroes Hearth is going to BlizzCon. They looked very strong in North America throughout the entire phase, but now dropping 1 match already. And since North America only has 2 spots for BlizzCon, only the top team qualifies for BlizzCon directly. The rest is going to be determined throughout the playoffs. So there is now all of a sudden a chance, at least, that Heroes Hearth is not going to get a direct qualification spot, depending on how the rest of the phase goes for them.
North America has gotten crazy. Endemic also getting a 3-0 last week. Like, I don't know what's going on over there, man.
I thought they were always a little bit crazy.
Yeah,
it's gotten worse.
It's getting worse, but we'll go ahead and continue to watch it, as North America is always exciting and electric to watch. But let's go ahead and talk about our topic coming next. Granit Gaming looking to face off against Fnatic. Will the rapid improvement of Granit Gaming be good enough to take off the off-wall compositions coming in from Fnatic?
Granit Gaming is currently in a very solid and stable 6th position in the league. I think they're stronger than both Roll20 and Monkeys, but I doubt they can take on any other of the top teams. The Granit series should go in our favor fairly easily. We might drop a map or even 2, because we're an unstable team with emotions that can go overboard, but I don't think it will go far enough to us actually losing, and I think the series will be pretty convincing in our favor.
So Fnatic's roster has struggled a lot in the first phase, and not making it to the Clash was surely unexpected for them. But since then I think they've improved, especially their teamwork, a lot. And the drafts can get pretty wild sometimes, so most of all we need to make sure to have a proactive plan ourselves to not get surprised too much. I think the key for Fnatic's success will be the synergy between Schwimpy and Breeze, and both of them working together to have not only a good game plan from Schwimpy, but also Breeze making the calls in the game. If we're on a good day, we should have a good series against them.
Granit Gaming had a tough weekend last week as Team Liquid was able to shut them down quite quickly and efficiently. And I'm a little bit worried for Granit Gaming. Coming into this series, they have actually lost 6 times to Fnatic. Fnatic is in the lead in this matchup 6-1 so far, as Fnatic has done a really good job of shutting them down. But again, you can't deny that rapid improvement that we've had from Granit Gaming in this phase in particular.
I mean, if everything goes as you would expect, then Fnatic is going to take a clean series today. As we heard from Schwimpy, he expects a 3-0, a 3-1. And I think from the standings and the way that the team has been improving, you can only echo that. Then at the same time, you look at how this entire phase has shaped up, and all of a sudden you realize that there were a lot of surprises, a lot of upsets. And Granit Gaming is one of the teams that made that happen. So there is an opportunity for them to continue that trend and maybe catch Fnatic when they're a little bit off, when they have those emotions that Schwimpy was alluding to in the interview. And if that happens, then things can go really wild here. So it's an opportunity for Granit Gaming, but it's definitely an uphill battle.
Let's go ahead and move into the battleground here as we're ready for this best-of-5 series. As a reminder, This will be the white main balance patch. No Mephisto will be available. No Tyrande rework either. We'll have the Tyrande rework next week, and the Mephisto will be available in week 10. The battleground we're going to, Infernal Shrines, picked up by Granit Gaming over to Bans, Braxis Holdout, and Volskaya Foundry will not be played in the series.
Granit really likes to play on this map. They picked the map already 5 times. This is the 6th time now that they bring an opponent to the map, and we have them with 6 games played in total. So they have a 50-50 track record with 3 wins, 3 losses. Only 1 time was it the opposing team that put them towards Infernal Shrines. Fnatic then, on the other hand, if you look at their own track record on the map, they're currently at 2 wins and 5 losses. By far the worst map. So it's definitely one of those battlegrounds where you would expect them to do well.
Yeah.
But history hasn't really shown that.
History has also shown them going to the wire on this battleground too. Remember the Sergeant Hammer match they had a long time ago
with
against
Liquid?
Liquid, exactly.
Yeah.
The infamous Maiev Leoric one that we saw from Last Hope, that we always are reminded about when it comes to that character for him.
The interesting part is also, this is one of only 3 maps that we have in the pool that Fnatic has never picked. They never picked Battlefield, they never picked Volskaya, and they also have never picked Infernal Shrines. In fact, we have actually even seen bans on this map against it. So very interested to see what Fnatic can pull off here. And we're starting things with an Alexstrasza ban, which has become pretty much the norm, to be honest, on Infernal Shrines.
Yeah.
Very often does she get targeted within Europe in the ban phase when we're playing on this specific battleground.
Wondering about Sergeant Hammer. She's starting to become a major ban too, and there she is for the 2nd week in a row being in the ban phase for both of our teams. Typically, we'd have our teams come in on game number 1 and saying, okay, we might have a strategy for Sergeant Hammer, we'll leave her open. That quickly changes as the losing team usually bans her on the next phase, but Granit Gaming is not playing around with that now. Question is, will we be getting White Man on this battleground? She continues to be a constant pickup. Her ability to harass in team fights has always been a strong one. With that Clemency build being buffed in the last patch as well, she has been showcasing that as our European teams keeping that up.
White Main currently is sitting at 6 wins and 11 losses. The team that is by far the most successful with White Main is definitely Dignitas, who played her 3 times and haven't lost a single game yet. But as you already said, White Main is a hero that we oftentimes expect on Infernal Shrines to be played. When it comes to Hammer, as you were talking about her, Hammer is actually currently sitting at 16 wins and 12 losses. So an incredible impactful hero that we have these days. Fnatic, on the other hand, don't really fare too well when they play Hammer. They played Hammer 4 times and have only a single win with the Sergeant. So definitely not their best hero here. But of course, with the bans that are being coming in right now, with Alexstrasza prioritized high on Infernal Shrines, with Sergeant Hammer being taken out, heroes like Maiev make it through the draft and get immediately picked up.
With that being said, though, Maiev being taken, at least Deckard Cain up. Granit Gaming was straight into it, and so does Hanzo, who's been big on this battleground. Big in Korea as well. Hanzo has inflated his way to the top for a lot of our teams. The ability to have that instant engage has been something that a lot of teams have been looking forward to, and plus the poke damage is something you can't ignore, and then of course, explosive arrows on this map gives you the wave clear, but also the shrine clear.
We have in HGC Europe 152 games played now, and Hanzo is currently sitting with roughly 80 games played at a 53% win rate. That's actually very impressive.
Strong,
Makes
yeah.
him one of the top 5 heroes that we have in HGC Europe. Just to throw something out there, the most successful hero that we currently have in Europe is Urel, with more than 100 games played and a 66% win rate. And that brings us actually to a topic that we wanted to talk about, since it has been so impactful over the last few weeks. This triumvirate of Urel, Diablo, and Deckard Cain. I went back and looked at a few of the statistics since we had this particular trio have such a huge impact. And I haven't found a game in Europe where the team that picked those 3 heroes has actually lost the game. It was 6-0 with that particular constellation, where a lot of teams now from the beginning ban Diablo, pick him away, or just at least try to break that a little bit. But if you get all 3, we have so far not seen a single loss with them.
That armor on top of potions, on top of shields, it just really stacks up to make that front line too strong. As long as your carry plays safe, which you obviously get here at the highest level of play, just feels like you can't lose, and the stats back it up. Now, with that being said, Granit Gaming has made sure to work with that issue by banning out Diablo on the second point. I'm actually a little bit more surprised here with the Nubrak coming out, and then Junkrat with our main tanks Diablo and Garrosh taken away and Murden taken. Granit Gaming is going to go to a different route here and go for the Anu.
I'm always a bit hesitant when I see a Nubarak. I really like the combo with a Nubarak and Urel, since, as we explained in the past, the armor that a Urel can provide makes up for a lot of the weaknesses that a Nubarak brings to the table here. So this particular setup here is worrying me a little bit, but we still have that last pick that can definitely try and mitigate some of that problem that we have. So another melee hero is definitely needed here. The question is what that's going to be. It could be Blaze that gives a bit more. First of all, you have, of course, the soak on the top lane, but later on during the Shrine phase, you have more sustain for your team. I would like that a lot.
Gives you a meat shield too. You need something in that front line too.
Thrall has become more popular, and there are arguments for him to come into that composition, but I would really like Blaze instead. It's Leoric, and with Leoric, I'm not too happy about the pick. I like Leoric, and I really think there's a lot of drafts where he can be very strong right now, and Infernal Shrines is one of the better maps. I just think that the combination between Leoric and Inuburak is very, very squishy at the front line on this map. Yeah, it's one of those things where you have to be very careful since both of them can easily focus down if you don't get the perfect engage. So I would have loved something here that provides a little bit more safety, either Blaze or maybe... I actually don't know what else, but Blaze would really have made a lot of an impact here. In a different meta, I would have suggested that Tyrael might be an option too, where you all of a sudden have a Sanctification, where you have shields too, but Tyrael has fallen off a bit. We see him occasionally. Yes, exactly, but right now, I feel this is very, very dangerous from Granit Gaming.
I think Leo has a little bit more dancing room on the front against Maiev, thanks to that Wraith Walk, so you can at least kind of dance around there, but I agree, the health point pool on the front line is something that I'm very worried about. It's going to require a hefty amount of coordination here from Granit Gaming to be able to use his front line and be effective with it.
And then again, I say Blaze, and when you look over towards the track record that Granit Gaming has with Blaze, they played him 6 times, haven't won a single one of these games. They're 0-6 with a hero. Might be one of the reasons why they moved away from Blaze here and favored Leoric instead.
It requires a different type of playstyle, and Darkmock is just one of those players that likes to be in your face, honestly. As a side laner, he's probably one of our more aggressive players. I mean, it took him forever to get Urel underneath his repertoire of heroes to pick up. He wants to play these Sonias, he wants to be able to play these Thralls, he wants to get
You know that Darkmock looked at this and said, like, boys,
I got this.
Illidan.
Illidan's got this. I'm like, oh, let's go with the Skeleton instead. Leo comes out for the 5th pick for Granit Gaming. Let's kick this best of 5 underway. On the left side in the blue, Memecraft on Hanzo, Raid Boss on Junkrat, Darkmock on Leoric, Wolfjo on Deckard, and Nande to play a Nubarak.
And over to the right side of the map, it is Team Fnatic with Amena here today on Arena. With the auto attacks, Breeze finds himself on Murden for the Stormbolt damage again, holding the level 1 for now. Shrimpy on Maiev, Smexy on Malfurion, and Last Hope and on Urel. And already interesting to see that we have Mena on Reyna and Shrimpy on Maiev. We have seen those two with a bit of an overlap in the hero pool in the past, which allows for very flexible drafts to come into play. Mena has been playing Maiev quite a few times for the team, and oftentimes you will see the auto attacker played by Shrimpy. In this case, though, it's switched around here, which puts Mena still into that backline, whereas Shrimpy is going to try and be a bit more aggressive with his playstyle and look for target opportunities.
Already finding a tether on Nande, and you can see the issue with picking up a Nubarak, not having really any major resilience built in. Dropping down to almost a quarter HP and requiring some heals there from Wolfjo, but Fnatic already setting the pace here by clearing out the middle lane and the bottom. But coming back to your hero overlap pool, I think it really comes down to how Shrimpy is feeling on the day on certain heroes. If he feels like he can deliver on Maiev, he'll definitely pick it up. I think Mena is more and more comfortable just kind of flex out of different teams or different players, and it's really starting to benefit this team.
Oh, nice stun engage here, Breeze, but he moves out. The interesting thing about Fnatic, when you look at their stats in general, is that they are the team within Europe that plays by far the most diverse hero pool. They have played 47 different heroes. And just to put that a bit in perspective, the second team that comes in is Strict Esports, which has, well, right now obviously Monkeys, which has been a little bit all over the place. And they have played 42, so that's a 5-hero difference, roughly a bit more than 10%. And of course, when you look at the Monkeys, they have been very experimental. To give you a bit of an example more up at the top of the standings, Dignitas has played 40 different heroes, so 7 less than Fnatic. And a lot of that comes down to Fnatic at the beginning when they reformed, experimenting maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But they still show sometimes compositions that are a little bit more out of the box, especially when you think to last weekend, for example, where we saw them with that. Exactly, Tacita Tracer without a main support on Sky Temple.
Still can't believe they won that game. It was a fun one to watch, though, of course, of being Sky Temple, dancing around to that one moment, and one team fight literally decided that match. It was all on game number 5. So you know Fnatic even though they are experimenting, they're trying these compositions and they truly believe in them.
I mean, it's one of these things that especially Quacknix in the past was criticized for. I mean, Quacknix is a great shot caller, there's no doubt about it. And as a drafter, he also has a huge impact for the team. You can see that with Roll20 now in their victory against Method. But one of the criticisms against the way that he drafted when he was on Fnatic was that he was very much in that meta pocket that he personally really liked a lot. He very rarely broke out of that. So once that they changed out the drafting, Fnatic does, in the shot calling, they maybe went a little bit too wild with the way that they approach certain compositions, but you can still see the remnants of that in the style that they play right now, since they have a little bit more of a tendency to go into these comps where they are all of a sudden pulling a hero that you don't necessarily expect from them.
Over to Granit Gaming, they're setting up for this next Shrine phase, but they're a hair too late. Fnatic has already started the race, and it has jumped up to about 8 minions. Granit Gaming will finally get here, and they have some pretty decent clear between that explosive arrow and, you know, peasants coming online for Leoric, but they have to bully their way in and try and set up an establishment. They move in and put some damage on top of Breeze, but Breeze turns around and drops a Stormball.
And Nanda was already trying for the engage here, but he needs to be careful. If he misses the engage with the Burrow stun, then he's going to be in trouble. Fnatic already sitting at 20 stacks. Yes, they're trying to go for the Punisher. And with Granit Gaming being on the map with 5 heroes here all the way up to the top, they don't get any experience on the other side of the map. So they need to try and make the play here. But we have the Tether coming in, the root, and the kill against the Nubarak as Fnatic pounces.
Yep, Manage is attacking from behind, able to finally get those kills with the help of Malfurion. And there is the pickoff as Granit Gaming loses one and Fnatic will easily take the Shrine. One thing that was an issue here for Granit Gaming was Fnatic got the first initial race on top of the Shrine. They jumped up at 8, but what they did was they pushed out the top wave as well, forcing Junkrat to pull in and make sure to clear that out. Even Hanzo happened to use an explosive arrow, which meant Granit Gaming was falling further and further behind. So it got to a point where Granit Gaming needed to decide, do we want to give up this Punisher, or do we want to try and force a fight? They went with the latter option, and it just did not pay off.
Nice attempt here by Shrimpy to go for the Tether, but Junkrat already anticipating the play as the sidewall was open, and they drop Maiev as the concussion mine really put Shrimpy way out of position here. Good kill for Granit Gaming, but the fight isn't over yet. The Punisher goes in deep, wants a piece of the action, and they take down the Nubarak again.
Squish goes the bug, and Memecraft might just be next. Last Hope coming in here. Oh, actually missing the knockback there, turning a little bit too early. Memecraft turns around himself and puts some damage on top of Last Hope. Punisher jumps in, hits Memecraft, but the fort will stand.
Really nice damage from Fnatic and setting themselves ahead now in experience. But I love a lot how Granit Gaming reacted once they saw that the wall was open. And the fight isn't even over yet. Smexy is in trouble here. Dartmok wants the kill, but the root is there, just in range. And Dartmok about to fall as Breeze is trying to go in.
Fnatic needs to about backing up, though. There they go. Finally trying to retreat. Here comes Shopi from the side. He's wanting to get a big tether. He might be able to get it off here on top of Hanzo. Raid Boss able to back on up. Boy, a fight back and forth between our teams in the top lane. Fnatic walks away hurting, but so does Granit Gaming.
Yeah, and Fnatic is absolutely willing to brawl here, as you could just see. Still, again, you have to be careful of that Junkrat mine in particular, making sure that he isn't able to push you in. At the end of the day, though, we have a half-level lead for Fnatic. Winning that first Punisher was pretty impressive and also impactful. And we have still the top lane very heavily pushed out, where the fort has already taken a lot of damage. So Fnatic setting themselves up for even more experience, maybe through a Shaman camp later when we have these shrines spawning on another side of the map.
You weren't kidding, though. Fnatic definitely wants to fight. Granit Gaming was trying to push up bottom lane, and Fnatic had multiple members there, attempting just to trade out a little damage here and there, finishing up these Stormwall quests. I mean, looking over to Breeze right now, he's sitting a total of 19.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're only 6 minutes in, right?
Yeah. Pretty quick there. If you're able to finish it up before level 10, you know you're feeling great as a Muradin player.
Yeah, absolutely. If you get that cooldown reduction alone, the way that they're brawling right now, you get so much more dangerous in these team fights. So Breeze must feel fantastic with that talent.
So lately, when it comes to Rainer on this battleground, we've been seeing Hyperion mixed in over the Raiders just to help out with the Shrine Clear. What do you think about that here?
I actually really like it for the Shrine control, because you just zone out the opponent so heavily and you buy yourself a bit of time. It's in the way that you use it, it reminds me oftentimes a bit of Dragon Queen and Odin. It's not quite the same value that you get out of it, but you're trying to buy yourself a few seconds to get that Punisher.
Hey, there it is. Actually, the Hyperion comes out to buy those extra seconds. Between Urel and Rainer, they are going to hold the Shrine. And then on top of that, you got a Dwarf. Granit Gaming is going to need excellent engages. One
of the few things that I can actually see where Fnatic might struggle a bit, I'm not quite sure what you think about that, is Cocoon. Normally we see Li Ming against that with a disintegrate, something to burn it down. In this case though, Granit could actually get some value out of it if they coordinate the attack properly.
Yeah, my question is just who they're going to try and pop it on. If you go for Maiev, she could possibly vault it. Now Furion shouldn't be in range of it. If you go for Murd in there, Maiev can just step up and force a fight with Norden's Cage.
You also raised a really good point, the vault on Maiev dodging the cocoon. We actually saw that from Shrimpy a couple of times already. So this is one of the things where as a Nubarak you have to be very, very careful who you target.
You feel like such a badass when you do that too, especially online. You just drop that vault whenever you have that 80 to ping. You're like, yeah, I'm that good.
It's like you walk away from the keyboard, okay guys, I'm done, game's over. It's like, we still kind of need to win a team fight here, you might want to come back.
Yeah, naturally the opponent team kind of walks away too, just realizing, oh, we just got completely destroyed there. Well, we'll keep an eye on Nande, we'll see what we can do here. First, Granit Gaming shows up at the Shrine. This is actually much better than the first time they attempted to fight over it.
And at the top lane, we have now the Shaman Camp pushing in, and that collides with a good wave, so there's a chance for Fnatic to maybe even get the fort here if their camp wins out. Down here, though, the fight is actually heating up. It's getting spicy as Fnatic is looking for another kill.
Nande has to be careful on that front line. Still taking damage. Always has to burrow charge away, but Fnatic is healthy and they want to fight.
Yeah, they're going in, dropping the cage, going for a Darkmark. Here comes the Hyperion as well. Good zoning. The cocoon in the background, though. Arrow comes through from Hanzo. No kill yet, but once more, Nande has to retreat here. And Granit Gaming is in trouble, but they still want to go for the Punisher.
Yeah, they have a lead here, 31-14, but are they going too far? Memecraft gets taken out with the Stormbolt. Darkmark by himself gets taken out too. 34-18. Granit Gaming is trying to shell some grenades,
the roots,
but they're not going to get it.
The roots on Nande put him into a really bad spot here, but he's able to walk away as Fnatic is not over chasing. They're keeping Maiev on the Shrine and are trying to zone out the rest of the team.
You asked how can you get out of the cocoon if you get locked down there from Fnatic. Hyperion was actually able to help Henne get out of there as he was able to finally find a couple kills in the bottom left after retreating from the web.
Leoric is on the way to the top lane, by the way, and that camp, as I said earlier, has won out, so there is a chance that the fort is still going to fall. Leoric just arriving in time, but the structures are taking severe damage regardless, and he might barely... Nah, he's not able to save it. The fort goes down. Down at the bottom of the map, the Punisher is doing work, and Fnatic has taken a 2-level lead.
Late to defend the fort, and not even close to on time to defend the bottom fort. 2 forts taken up from Fnatic. They jump up to 13, as you mentioned, and they can get more here. They go straight to the middle lane.
What's a talent that Reina has chosen on 13?
Giddy up!
Ah, okay, there we go.
Have you been working on that?
I have tried, but I can't do it. I'll let you to take over that. Talking about taking care of things, Nubarak going down again, and this is not boding well for Granit Gaming. 5 kills against 1 in favor of Fnatic as Granit Gaming is just struggling to find a foothold in this map.
This feels like it comes back to draft again, with the main tanks being banned out in the early phase and a Nubarak being one of your main options. I mean, Johal is still up and available.
Yeah.
It feels like there's no front line for Granit Gaming as Raynor just dishes out the damage too quickly.
I mean, with Blaze, I would have really liked the matchup a bit more, but as we said before, Granit Gaming have never won with Blaze. They're 0-6 with the hero. That might be one of the problems here. The Darkmoor doesn't feel confident in it. The problem is the Nubarak alone doesn't benefit really from Darkmoor's Leoric up to level 13 when finally Ominous Wraith is coming into play. But Fnatic is already so far ahead pre-13. How do you come back after you grab that talent? Is there a chance for you to come back?
I think you have to wait for 16, actually. A Nubarak with the Epicenter, and then the piercing arrows from Hanzo around a Shrine fight can win you a fight.
I mean, here's the question, though. Do they even have that time?
It's going to be a fort in the middle. There is still a keep wall there. I think they have the time. I think they can look at this and say, okay, if we don't lose anything in the next couple minutes, no one dies, we soak appropriately, we can get to 16. But that's going to be our last chance.
Yeah, they somehow have to survive through another Punisher, though, I feel, since it really much seems that Fnatic is going to take level 16 before Granit Gaming is going to have access to the talent once the Shrine pops. But Granit hasn't really lost the keep yet, so they lose the outer structures, which is always a problem. But if they at any point can maybe make a rotation happen, instead of going for the Shrine, drop a few towers and maybe a fort, they might be able to get back so that they can defend against another Punisher and then fight with the 16 talent. But Fnatic is, of course, going to try and limit that time window as much as possible.
And so far, Granit Gaming seems to be going for the option of just soaking. They had an opportunity to be fighting in the middle lane if Leoric came in and dropped down an Entomb, but with no Hanzo nearby, just soaking in the bottom lane, it looks like Granit Gaming has decided that their fate will be around that 16 talent tier. So Fnatic, they peel away, and they just begin setting up for the next phase, starting a Merc camp, have that push in the top, and then be right on point when the Shrine spawns.
Yeah, so they're prepping the camp, they're not taking it. Ideally, of course, they would try to invade at the top left now, which is exactly where they're headed. Breeze is already on the way. They don't have 16 yet, so Urel is currently trying to get the experience at the bottom of the map. But yeah, Breeze is only checking this out. The rest of the team isn't rotating with him. They know fully well that Breeze is able to move out of harm's way, especially with Dwarf Launch being picked up as his 16 choice.
Well, even Murden just showing there and stepping up, and Maiev showing in the top lane makes Granit Gaming think, okay, we should grab this Mercat as soon as we can. That small little maneuver just feigns the idea of an invade coming your way. So more play by Breeze.
Yeah, Darkmoon gets out of there. That was a nice rotation for Fnatic. Aggressive again, but Darkmoon not falling was important. But now we're having the camp taken by Fnatic 2 up to the top. And this is really the shrine that should be easily in favor of Fnatic. I would be very surprised if Granit Gaming even makes the attempt to go in favor.
Yeah, there's no way. If anything, they may group up as 4 and push down a lane.
This is what I want to see, actually. As I said before, I want them to try and target structures now.
Yeah, they need the experience.
But Fnatic is going to have to react to it. I mean, Fnatic is just not going to give that up for free.
They are. You have Murden going down the bottom lane, set up defense. You had a new Brack anchoring on the top side, watching for the rotation. They leave one person on the shrine. Fnatic is playing everything by the book.
Leoric was the only one who was trying to at least get a few stacks for Granit Gaming, so they kept him in the middle to make sure that Fnatic could not move down with 5. But now we are having the team from Sweden and France already with 36. 37, 38, and there we have it. Mortar Punisher taken. So Fnatic is going to push in with this. Half level for Granit Gaming for 16. This is all about Fnatic getting a keep.
Yeah, Kane should be setting up potions right now to make sure that Nande's safe. There he is. 3 potions are already down. Nande can make this over. He can burrow charge away so he doesn't get locked down. Sidewall killed by Fnatic, though. So they are showing that they are willing to force this fight if they find an opportunity.
Yeah, here comes the Riptire, getting a bit of damage in. Leoric moving through, trying to slow down the onslaught. 16 still not there yet, but there we have the Hyperion, trying to create that space already as we see the rest of the team looking for a kill, especially with Shrimpy going in for the tether.
Tornado used to try and buy some space, but Darkmog, that space is not enough. He'll fall as Fnatic finds a kill. Cocoon comes out on Malfurion too. He's locked in a location here on the right, but no follow-up as Granit Gaming has their Hanzo deleted, and Fnatic, they can move forward for the core.
Yeah, Hanzo is down. That was a great engage by Shrimpy, and once again setting the tether up, and Breeze followed up with another Stormbolt. And now they're simply going in, trying to go for the core here. Punisher baited towards the top. Wolfjaw is actually sucked back into the fight, and the Punisher is getting also some damage in. Down he goes, 8 kills against 1. Fnatic still looking onto that core.
Finally, they get to the shields here. Leo's going to come back and attempt to slow down this damage coming out from Fnatic. But with no major damage dealers, Junkrat just can't find a place to get a kill here. He's going to be backed up by the side here by Breeze. The core falls down to about 70%. Nande trying to buy space in the back right. Mene comes over, gives him a penetrating round, and kills him off.
Yeah, down goes Nubarak. He's not the only one. Junkrat has also fallen. We have Hanzo back to business, but that's just not going to be enough. Here comes the Entomb by Darkmog. That doesn't do very much for him. He goes down, and Fnatic is just farming Granit Gaming right now.
12 kills to 1. Level 19 to level 16. Fnatic finds a mid-game lead and snowballs forward, grabbing the Punishers and earning a win after a couple of kills. Fnatic goes up 1-0 over Granit Gaming.
I mean, Fnatic turned Granit Gaming into trash mobs towards the end there, farming them one by one and trying to get that tickle experience.
Yeah.
12 kills to 1. That was a brutal finish here. And we come back not only to the decisiveness of Fnatic, but also the draft just too squishy at that front line. Not enough for them to get a kill, and then not sustainable enough to go for the shrine.
Yeah, you would have to have nearly perfect coordination there and a few mistakes from your opponent to be able to find those kills. You would have to Cocoon, Leoric and Tomb on a Rainer or a Malfurion, but Smexy, knowing this, played safe in the back. Mene shelling away while Maiev was able to dance around that front line. Thanks to Murden creating a lot of space. It's really just a difficult draft to play into. So going into game number 2, expecting a more durable front line or at least some more answers from Granit Gaming.